Stop. You could be walking away from thousands and thousands of dollars, or you could be making one of the biggest mistakes of your life. Don't list your property until you know the real risk and the hidden cost nobody talks about. This decision could haunt you for years and years. Let's make sure you get it right. I will talk about all that in this video. I've had many regrets in my life, and one of the biggest regrets I have is about selling my properties that I had. I'll give you an example. Way back in 2000, I bought a flip property, fixed it up, sold it, and within 6 months, I made $40,000. That was a lot of money to me back then. But what I regret is I rushed into it. I fell for the profit of just $40,000 and sold the property. Yes, I made $40,000, but if I would have kept that home today, it would have been worth $800,000, and back then I had only paid $250,000. So one of my biggest regrets is selling that property and the two other income properties that I have. Selling a house is not just about making profit. Buy low and sell high. There is more to selling a home than just profits. There are inconveniences, there are emotional feelings from friends and family, and a lot of other hidden costs that I will talk about as we go along. If you're thinking about selling a home or have thoughts about selling a home and you ask a realtor, hey, what do you think I should do? I bought it for $500,000, it's worth $700,000. Should I sell it and move? Of course, they're going to say, sure, sell it. I can help you sell it. I can also help you find another house. Of course, they're going to say that. But at the same time, if you ask your friends or family or your loved ones or peers at your work and say, hey, what should I do? I'm making so much profit. Should I move? Of course, they're going to say move and move along. But you have to give it some thought, a lot of thought. And those points I'm going to go through one by one. Home prices have gone up significantly. Of course, if you bought your home in the last 5 years or even 10 years ago, you probably have doubled your home value. And if you bought your home in the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, they're up 30, 40, 50% depending on where you are. So that equity, that profit you're sitting on seems very tempting. But be forewarned. So a typical home buyer or a typical home seller may think, you know what? I've got so much profit sitting in my home. Let me sell it, take the profit, sit on the market for a couple of years, rent it out, or stay with my family and friends and buy low. That may be a huge mistake. Or you may say, you know what? I've got so much profit. I bought it so low. I'm buying it high. I'm flying. My business is good. So let me sell it, buy a bigger home, buy it into a newer home, buy a home in a nicer area, and live the life of the American dream. Well, that may be good, but that may also not be a good idea. The question is, do you really want to move, or are you just selling it for the profit? Have you thought about the other considerations of selling a home or moving a house or selling and buying another house? I remember when I first moved to Anaheim Hills, California, I could barely afford the home, and I bought a home for in the $250,000 range. It so happened that I bought it at a good price, and in about 7-8 years, the home value went up to $400,000. This was back in the late 90s. And I almost sold my home because I could see profit in my hand, $50,000, $100,000 profit in my hand. And I almost sold it and thought about moving to a better area, newer area. But then I remembered the reason I moved to Anaheim Hills was because of the beautiful community, because of the schools. My kids were young at that time. I had moved there for the schools to have a better education, a better lifestyle. Luckily, I did not sell, and my kids graduated. They have great jobs because they went to great schools. And on top of that, my house that I bought for $250,000, which I almost sold for $400,000, today it's well over $1 million. So it has gained in appreciation. I've enjoyed living in here, and I'm not going anywhere. This is my life. This is my house of my dreams, and I'm not going anywhere. So it was a good thing that I hung in there, even though I could see the profits right in my hands. Now, I'm not saying that, hey, you should not sell, keep there, stay forever, and never move. I'm not saying that at all. And I'll give you reasons why you should not sell. But before I talk about that, I wanted to give you some situations or circumstances where you may have to sell. There may be a divorce, and the settlement forces each other to sell the home, or one of you want to sell and buy another house. There may be a situation where there's a death in the family, and the kids may get the home, and the kids don't want to rent out the home because of memories or don't want management, etc. So that may be a good time to sell. There may be a situation where you have medical issues and you have to sell. I just sold a home yesterday and the lady was there. In fact, she happens to be a realtor. She stayed in that house for 40 years. And 10 years ago, they did an extension on the house, a 2-story extension. Huge house, 3,000 square feet home. But now she had a surgery. Her husband is not doing well. They can't go up because the master bedroom is upstairs. So they're selling because it's a 2-story home and they want a single-story home. So circumstances asked you to sell, or if there are circumstances where you have to sell, you have to sell. And medical reasons is one of them. The other circumstances where you may have to sell is you may have a job promotion or a relocation and you really want that job and you may have to move out of state or move out of the county. So situations like that, if you have to move, you have to move. There may be situations where your kids are done with elementary school or high school and they go to a college and you want to move with them, then you may have to do that. So there are circumstances where you have to sell. And if the market conditions are right for you, whether you bought low or high, and if the conditions are right, the market is right, the circumstances is right, and the timing is right, so be it. Sell it and move on. But here's why you don't want to sell, and here are some examples. There's one more reason I thought about why you should sell, and that's because let's say in LA County, for example, or Orange County where I'm at, homes are so expensive, and if you bought in the last 2 or 3 years, and the property tax has gone up and the insurance has gone up and we know that the utilities has gone up and everything has gone up, and a lot of the homeowners, because I've sold so many homes, especially in LA County, Orange County, are stretching to pay their mortgage. In fact, according to statistics, Los Angeles County, which is about 20 miles from here, the average house payment debt to income ratio, or the house payment, is about 51% of their salary. How can you survive that? People are living paycheck to paycheck. So in those circumstances, if the home is too expensive, you may want to sell it and move to a lower priced area or where the expenses are low and the cost of living are low. So circumstances like those, you have to move, and it may be wise to do that. So why is it not a good reason to sell, or why is it not a good idea to sell? Well, if you're selling it for profit, then it's not a good idea, because no matter when you buy, even if you buy right now, people tell me all the time, hey, prices are so high, should I buy now or wait? And I tell the buyers, buy now. You buy when you are ready, willing, and able to buy. So if you can afford it, then it's a great idea to buy, because no matter when you buy, at the low prices and higher prices, your home prices will appreciate in the long term, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Your house will double, triple, or quadruple. So the biggest advantage, if you have a house and if you don't want any hassles, etc., you can go wrong buying a house. You may see profit at your hand right now, but in 10, 15 years, you can double, triple the value or the equity of your home, the value of your asset. A house is the biggest asset, and the longer you keep that asset, the bigger it grows and the faster it grows. You may consider selling because you thought, hey, I bought my house for $800,000 and I'm going to be selling it for 1.2, so I have a lot of profit. But remember that when you do buy a house, let's say you move down and you buy an $800,000 house, well, the seller who's selling that house that you're buying for $600,000, they probably paid $400,000. Even though you drop down on your price, you are still paying a higher price. And of course, the other thing about buying a house is that two things. One is that you are getting a mortgage rate. Let's say you bought a house at 4% and now you're selling it and the current rates are 6%, 6.5%. So you're paying a higher mortgage rate. So it's costing you more. The other thing is, let's say you bought the house and now you're selling it and you buy another house, which is great. Remember, now you're starting a 30-year clock. 99%, or I'd say 90% of the buyers get a fixed mortgage loan. So if you buy another house, then you're starting that clock all over again. 30 years starting today, but you had already paid 10 years on the other one and you had 20 years left. So you start another clock all over again. In Southern California, where I'm at, home prices are very high. At the same time, the appreciation is very high. A typical home in Orange County is like $1 million. So what happens is when you sell a home and you have a profit, a lot of the sellers don't consider that they have tax consequences. I've sold a lot of homes, and a lot of the people that I'm selling, a lot of the sellers' homes that I'm selling in California are moving out of state because it's much cheaper. But because they bought their home 20, 30 years ago for $200,000 and now they're selling it for well over $1 million, they have a lot of capital gains tax and they don't consider that. Of course, you get a credit of $250,000. If you're married, you get a credit of $500,000. So there's no capital gains tax on your first $500,000. But if you're selling a home for 1.1 or 1.5 or 1.6, you still end up paying a lot of capital gains tax. Talk to your accountant about it. A lot of people don't consider the consequences of capital gains tax, which is always going to be there. If you are considering selling or even thinking about what should I do, should I sell and buy another one, should I sell and move to a smaller house, and you have no idea which way to go and want an opinion, feel free to call me. I will be glad to talk to you. If I'm not in your area, I can refer you to an expert agent. I have a database nationwide of top agents. I will put a link in the comment section, on the first comment section. Fill the short form out. I'll call you, talk to you, understand what you want, and refer you to an agent or help you myself with absolutely no obligation. One of the hidden factors a lot of sellers don't think about it when they thinking about selling their home is that when you sell a home, you have to bring your home up to par. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a buyer today, and today's buyers, according to statistics, a lot of them are millennials or younger buyers, and of course they are paying higher interest rate and they are paying higher prices on homes. So what is one thing they expect in a house? Well, that house better be worth what they're asking for. So if you're asking for $600,000 or $1 million or $2 million for a house, it better be worth that much, which means that if you are considering selling and you've been there 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, a lot of us don't keep up the house as much as we should. So let's say in my case, I've been here 25 years, and if I want to sell my house, I have to make sure my yard is trimmed. I have some repairs, work to be done that is repaired. I may have some different colors in my house. I may want to bring it up to par and have a neutral color. My flooring may be bad or kind of deteriorated, so I may want to fix up some flooring. So now I have additional cost because buyers want a house. They'll pay you your price, but your house has to be in at least the condition where you're asking. Most people ask for a higher price, so your house better be in great condition. Because if it is not, a lot of the buyers today, 90% of the buyers start their home search online. They go on websites like Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com or any other website. They kind of scroll through it. If they don't like the picture, if they don't like the color, if they don't like the appeal of the house, they're going to move on, so you have less chance of selling your house. So if you want a top price, you have to have some homework done. You may want to start 2, 3, 4 months ahead and start doing some things yourself to save money, or you may have to call a handyman. I don't like to fix things, so anything I do, even if putting up a frame like that, I have to call a handyman. So those are additional costs that nobody thinks about. By the way, at the end of this video, pretty shortly, I did a video a few months back on how to declutter a house and how to declutter it really fast with less hassles. And if you are thinking about staying in your house for a long time, and if you want to know how to pay off your mortgage faster without making any extra payments or with some small payments, watch that video as well. It'll be at the end of this video very shortly. Buying a house, staying in the house, see your kids grow, see your family grow, see your asset grows is one of the biggest joys in USA. The American dream is to have a house and have an equity, and when you retire, you have a house that is paid off and has a lot of equity in it. So make a wise decision before selling or before buying or before making a move. Make sure you make a sound decision. Talk to an accountant, talk to a realtor. I'm always here to help you with free resources. Please contact me. As I always say, sell smart so you can gain more.